Today I'm taking a look at the S-Fit earbuds from Soul. 3.03 miles, 9 minutes, 3 seconds per mile, 145 beats per minute today. Getting out there for a nice and easy run. It's the last shakeout run before my 10K time trial coming up this weekend, but it wasn't exactly an easy run today because temperatures dropped overnight. We had temperatures for my run of about 22 degrees Fahrenheit, so a little bit chilly, but a nice way to torture test the S-Fit earbuds from Soul. Now, before I give you my thoughts on these earbuds, I do want to go over some disclosures. This is a pair of earbuds that was sent to me by Soul for the purpose of review, so I didn't have to pay for them, but they're not paying me to make this video or to use these earbuds, and they're not going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with the disclosures out of the way, let's talk about these S-Fit earbuds from Soul. Now, there's two things that really jumped out to me that I wanted to test. Right now, one of the things that I'm liking in pretty much all my earbuds is that they should have a way of using the microphones in the earbuds to pump in the noise that's around you in, so that way you're not so closed off from the world if you don't want to be, which makes a lot of sense for runners. So that way I can hear when there's cars approaching and there's other noises around me that I might need to be aware of while I'm running and I want to have music or listen to something like a podcast or an audiobook while I'm running. So this has not active noise canceling, but it does have a transparency mode nonetheless, where it's using those microphones to bring in noise from the outside so that I can hear it and be aware of what's going on around in my surroundings. The other thing that I thought was really interesting about these earbuds in particular is that they have these fins on them, but these fins are supposed to fit inside your ear. And what they do is you put the earbuds in and you kind of like, you twist them in just a little bit. And then when you do that, they kind of wedge into the folds of your ear so that they stay nice and snug. Other features that I think are pretty important when it comes to looking at earbuds that you're going to run with, whether it's winter running or summer running, depending on where you are, or if you're just using it for the gym, is that these are IP67 rated, which is pretty impressive. It means you can dunk them in water for up to half an hour and they'll still be fine. They also have amazing battery life. They're rated at 6.5 hours per listen, and then multiple times that when you put them in the included case, because the case also can charge them as well. And they're super lightweight. This case is super lightweight. These earbuds are super lightweight. It's almost as if I don't even think that these fins are all that necessary, because the earbuds themselves are really lightweight and they get into the ear really nicely. I mean, I keep doing this, but I'm not jamming them in, but they do, you know, want a little bit of a twist because of the way that these fins are. And even in the winter time when I'm wearing like a winter hat, they're staying pretty flush to the ear, so they're not sticking out and the hat's not like jamming them in either. So comfort is definitely there. I also was able to test out some of that IP67 rating because I ran with them one day in some pretty nasty weather here. I didn't dunk them in water, but I was running in some pretty hard rains, high winds, and they stayed in just fine, and they survived the amount of water that they took on that day as well. Not a single problem with that. On that run, when it was super wet out, and any of the other runs that I've been on with these earbuds, they haven't fallen out at all. The buttons I felt like were also pretty reliable. They're touch buttons, which I think that that's just like a limitation of these really small earbuds, that you're gonna have to figure out a way to touch them. I'm not a huge fan of having to poke myself in the ear, but they are touch buttons and I don't have to poke very hard to be able to register a press. And I felt like for the most part, the button presses were really reliable. When I thought I was going to pause the music, it paused. When I thought I was going to resume the music, it resumed. A lot of times when I have like these touch sensitive areas on earbuds, I feel like I'm like guessing where is the touch sensitive area. It's nice and big and I was able to get it pretty much every single time. I will say though that I felt like some of the responsiveness was a little bit laggy. Now that might be because I was using it with my Apple Watch that might have something to do with it. But it seems like when I paused it, I felt confident enough that I could just touch it once to pause it, but I would have to wait before the music actually paused. And then when I wanted to resume, I would tap it. I knew that I would get the button press that I wanted, but then it would just kind of like take a second for it to resume. So there was a little bit of a lagginess, although that's offset by the fact that I felt really confident in the button presses that I was making. Now, let's get to the most important part when it comes to earbuds, and that's the sound. Now, the sound quality on this I felt was pretty mediocre. It was really focused in on that mid-range. I didn't really feel like I got any like twinkling highs. I didn't feel like I got any really strong bass at all. I felt like it was lacking on both ends of the sound spectrum, but right in the middle, that's where I felt like it focused all its energy. I did spend some time listening to podcasts and audiobooks with these earbuds, and I felt like that was really great. I enjoyed the sound when I was listening to that. But for music, I just felt like while it could get really loud, I did appreciate that, the music sound quality was just a little bit underwhelming. I just didn't feel like I was getting the full range of sound that was in the songs I was listening to, and I just wanted a little bit more from both of the highs and from the lows in these earbuds. Now, let's talk about that transparency mode that they have in these earbuds. Like I said, that's the ability for the earbuds to take the sound that's around you, like cars that are approaching, any other noises that you might want to be aware of in terms of potential hazards when you're out there running on the roads, and bringing that in so that way you could hear it while also still hearing your music. I felt like the transparency mode left a lot to be desired. When I was out there running, I couldn't really tell that this set of earbuds had a transparency mode at all. For the most part, whether I had it on, whether I had it off, I felt like I got the same amount of ambient noise, or I feel like I didn't get the same amount of ambient noise. It just really wasn't working for me. The only time I really noticed that it was there was when I wanted to turn it off, because on that really windy day, the microphones were really picking up the wind sound, and I was already getting a lot of wind. So with the microphones also picking up the wind, it was like double wind noise, so I didn't really need that. So you hold it for 2 seconds to toggle it on and off. I toggled it off, and actually that felt a lot better to not have the transparency mode on in that extremely noisy condition. I also found that I wanted to turn the transparency mode off when things were quiet. So in the mornings when I get up and I'm starting to get ready for my run, I found that when I turned the transparency mode on, I wasn't really getting the ambient noise any better or any worse, but it was injecting like a weird hiss or like a buzzing sound. And that's really the only way that I could tell that transparency mode was on, is that there was like this artificial, like, kind of like, mic hiss is the best way to kind of describe it. I think that with the design of the case, there's ear fins that are going into some of the folds of your ear, and the overall lightweight nature of both the case and the earbuds, combined with the somehow epically long battery life, these remind me a lot of the Jaybird Vista, even to the extent that I didn't love the sound profiles that I could get out of the Jaybird Vista. I feel like these two earbuds are really close. If you're really interested in the Jaybird Vista but are kind of put off by the $150 price point of those earbuds, then these earbuds might be something that you want to consider. These are coming in at $80, which is quite a bit of a discount compared to the Jaybird. But I also feel like $80 for the sound quality that these earbuds are delivering or not delivering, and for the transparency mode, which also is not exactly delivering for me as well as I think it should for a set of $80 earbuds. I just feel like they're missing the mark a little bit. I feel like if the price point were a little bit lower, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable recommending these. But at $80, I'm not exactly sure that I can. Those are my thoughts on the S-Fit earbuds from Soul. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions, or better yet, I do a live stream every day, 3 p.m. here on YouTube. You can always feel free to ask me any questions you like there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?